So if someone falls at home and they're wearing a care alarm, then that's brilliant because they can press the button to summon assistance. If they're unable to press the button, they lose consciousness when they fall, or they're unaware that there's a way of summoning assistance, then you could go for a different type of pendant. This one's the Ivy, and this is a pendant alarm and a falls detector. And the old-fashioned falls detectors used to be based on tilt and impact. The current falls detectors are run by altitude and velocity. So it knows my usual height. If my height alters faster than usual, then it will raise an alarm. The good thing about these is that you can cancel the alarm. So if it was an accidental slump onto the sofa, you can cancel the alarm. But if you don't cancel it, then it goes through to the call centre and they're aware that you've had a fall and you're unable to get to the phone or raise the alarm, and they'll respond as you've agreed on their information they've been given. Others have falls detectors. Some of the watches have falls detectors in them, and also some of the tracker systems have falls detectors built into them as well, and we'll talk about those later. The other thing you might want to look at if you're thinking about falls at home is what's happening at home and why is that person at risk of falling. Obviously you'd look at all the rehab and equipment solutions to support that. But if you're a carer living with somebody at home and you need to know when they've got out of the chair or when they've got out of bed, then you might start thinking about using bed occupancy sensors, chair occupancy sensors and pressure mats to let you know where they are. So if you're living with somebody who is at risk of falling and you want to know where they are, whether they're moving around, whether they're at risk of falling, then you might want to have some equipment at home to help you monitor where they are and what the risk is. So a simple one is something like a movement sensor, which can be mounted in different parts of the house so that you know if they've moved from one room to the other. You can also have a door sensor. So a door sensor that will detect when the door's been opened, and the good thing about this one is it can be switched on and off. So that's quite useful for off-site carers as well, and we'll talk about that with wandering. We'll talk about wandering as well. So if you want to know if somebody is getting out of bed at night, which is quite often the problem with falls, then you might want to look at bed sensor mats or floor sensor mats so that the carer knows that that person's out of bed rather than is just listening to every creak in the floorboards and wondering if that's them. You've got two types of bed occupancy sensor. This one is one that goes under the mattress, and it's set to certain times so that when the person gets out of bed you can have an immediate alert to the carer, or you can have it set so that it's timed to allow that person to go to the toilet or the commode if that's what they're likely to do in the night, and then get back into bed, and the alert only goes off if they haven't got back into bed in the time that you have specified. So this one goes under the mattress, so can't be used on a profiling bed. This one can go under the sheet. So if someone isn't in a profiling bed, this might be better. There is a tissue viability risk with this one, and so you need to consider whether they're going to be the right thing. There's also a problem sometimes with cats getting on and off the bed and other pets, and so that might not be the ideal solution. But it's best if someone is able to get up in the night. If that person never gets up in the night and the only time they get out of bed that carer wants to be aware of it, then you're better off going for a floor mat. So a floor mat goes next to the bed at a place where the person is going to put their feet on the floor. So when the person stands on the mat, the alarm goes off on the carer's pager in another room and they can switch it off, but they're aware that the person is on the move.